All
Hi
right.
guys, welcome back to another week. This week I have the pleasure of interviewing Franco. Franco is a leader in our community, so I'm honored to have this time with him. Franco, welcome and thank you for taking time out of your day to share your story.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. How are you doing, Veronica?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. I'm honored to be interviewing you because you have an amazing story and it's a
Thank you.
powerful one too. And it's inspiring to all of us. So thank
Mhm.
you for sharing your story with us here today.
It's my
So
pleasure.
let's start from the beginning. What were you doing before you joined the online world, Franco?
Um, I started working at the age of 19, overseas. And I have to leave the family behind. I was very young. I was such a small boy back then, but I took the responsibility of being the breadwinner of the family. It's because I felt that it was time for me to actually provide for them. It's because during that time, my sisters, they were married, they had their own family, so pretty much I was the only person that can provide to my parents, right? So I took the responsibility of being a breadwinner. So I moved to the Maldives, which is an island. It's basically a lot of islands that are located in Indian Ocean. So it was very isolated. I was part of the Hilton hotel there, so we did the pre-opening. And after a year, I realized that it's not for me because I only got to see the city, I think about three times that year in 2007. And for me, I felt that it wasn't a thing for me. Though I love working for hotel, but I felt that it wasn't for me. And then what happened after is I moved back home, took a vacation for about 3 months, and then I joined a cruise ship. And then once again, I felt that it wasn't for me. Although I've been seeing cities, you're still in Ireland. The only difference is it's moving, right? You get to see some parts of the world, and we don't get days off on board, and that's one thing that I didn't like about it. And I moved back home, and after 2 months, I joined a local hotel chain here, and I worked with the company for about two and a half years, and then another opportunity came up for me to work in Singapore. So I told myself again, I really wanted to move overseas again because I've tried twice, but I wouldn't say I failed, but I didn't like it. And I took the opportunity because at Singapore, people back during that time, they were aiming to go to Singapore, right, because of the high pay scale. And after 2.5 years with being with the Holiday Inn, that's my hotel family there. There's another opportunity that came up for me to work to Canada, and it was from one of our guests, and she just came to me and told me, "Are you interested to work in Canada?" I said, "Sure, I'll try," but I wasn't really in for it, 100%. But still, I tried, and only to find out 4 months later that I was about to fly already. I've got all my tickets, and it happened so fast. And my first stop in Canada was in Fort McMurray, and it's way up north. Then again, that's not something that I pictured of Canada, because it's isolated. And the people in Fort McMurray, they're lovely, they're friendly, and I actually enjoyed staying up there. And I stayed in Fort Mac for about 2.5 years until the Fort McMurray wildfire happened in 2016. So I got displaced, and I moved to Fort Saskatchewan, Edmonton, Calgary, and I had to rely so much in my credit cards, and because I had to start everything from the scratch, and only to find myself juggling between three jobs. I was working for a hotel, for a bank, and at the grocery store. And 2018 came fast forward. Um, this online business opportunity, got presented to me through one of the Facebook advertisements, and it all started from there.
That that's an adventure. Like I didn't know it was that detailed for you, but that's an adventure to yeah, wow, you went through the wildfire. Fort McMurray, first of all, is a small town for
It is.
oil, right?
Yeah.
It's an oil industry. So it's
Right.
mostly camps up there and it's small. It's not a city from what I know of Fort
Yeah.
McMurray. I've never been there, but so you saw an ad on Facebook and you just tell me what happened from there.
Yeah. So I was on break from my hotel job. I can vividly remember it. It was at 4:30 p.m. when I took my 15-minute break. and I was scrolling on my Facebook. I felt I was so tired that day because imagine from the last three years or 2.5 years, I've been juggling between three jobs and I only get to sleep 3 hours in a day. And I'll be lucky enough if I will get a day off in a month.
Wow.
And for me that day, it spoke to me, that advertisement that I saw. Though, of course, in my head, I was thinking that it's too good to be true because that's the first thing that we're going to think about when we see an opportunity online, especially if it's online, right? And plus, the person that I saw on Facebook is not related to me at any levels. I didn't know her. It's Michelle Arceo, by the way. And I didn't want to trust her right away, but I felt that she spoke to me through her advertisement. And then I was flying to California, I believe, the next day. And I told her, I will just think about it, and I will just enjoy San Francisco first. And then the thing is, when I was in San Francisco, I felt, I couldn't get the thing out of my head. And I only found myself, I was taking pictures everywhere. And I told myself, I wanted to show this to people eventually, when I become successful in the business. And that has been my mindset since that day. It sat in me, in my mind, in my heart. And after I came back from San Francisco, luckily I had 2 days off. That's why I flew to California. And then when I came back, I immediately signed up to the program, and everything changed from there.
How many hours were you working when you were working your three jobs, Franco? A day?
In my three jobs,
Yeah.
so I start, I'll wake up at around 5 a.m. to
Yeah.
get prepared for the banking job because I have to be there by 7. I'm not driving because I don't own a car. I couldn't afford one. So I have to commute from my condominium to go to the bank, right? So I need to be there by 7, get off at 1:30, and then have to be at work at the hotel at 2:30. So, when I get home, it's already around, 2 p.m. And I need to go for a quick lunch. Sometimes I will undress while I'm eating my lunch.
Yeah.
And I need to get prepared for work. So I have to be there by 2:30. Then I'll get off from the hotel at 11, take the train back home, and then be prepared again for my grocery job, which starts at 11:30.
Wow.
And then I'll get off at 1 a.m. because I do the stock shelving. So
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. So you
it's
become
good.
a business owner with the program. Did you have any background in computers or anything like that? Did you have any
Um,
knowledge?
no, I didn't have a formal education about computers or social media, but I love computers. I know the basic, but I'm not an expert. But no background at all.
How was your training? Like when you started going through the training and stuff when you became a business owner? How was that?
Yeah, the good thing about it is, when I actually opened the training site, it was actually designed for all the people, from different walks of life. It's in a way that everybody can actually understand it. And the good thing about this is that you can pause and play. You can always come back whenever you get a free time again. And because of my schedule, I couldn't fully absorb everything from the training. That's why I'm taking, whenever I go to work, I will watch the training. If I'm on the bus, on the train, during my trips to the washroom, those are the only time that I could really get on the training. But like what I mentioned, that's how convenient it is because you have one portal that you can go to. You can pause and play all the training, and then there's no time pressure. And that's one thing that I love about this.
So here's a question. You went from three jobs. When did you start firing your bosses?
All right, amazing. So after 2.5 months of doing the business, I had the courage to actually quit from two of my part-time jobs, which is at the bank and at the grocery. Not because I was earning a lot, but it's because I actually saw the potential of the business and I was never wrong. And imagine before 2018 ended, I managed to get out of all of my debts, which were amounting to $27,000 because of this business. Plus, I managed to quit from two of my jobs. 11 months later, in September, yeah, in August, sorry, I managed to actually quit from my full time job. So September 1st was actually the day of freedom. That's the day that I will never forget because that's when I was able to reclaim my freedom and time back. It was September 1st of 2019.
And I remember
So,
when you announced that in the group, and I was so happy for you. I was like, go, Frank, go. That was awesome.
thanks,
Um,
Veronica.
I know because I follow you on social media, I know how this business has changed your life. And you are such a generous person that it's changed your whole family's life.
It
So
did.
can you explain, because you were living in Canada, but I know that you're not in Canada. So can you
Right now.
explain that to people? Because that is just
Yeah.
crazy and amazing.
I don't know. So for those people who will get to watch this later, I want to let you know that I'm here in the Philippines, back home, on my 13-month vacation, all because of this business. So people were actually wondering, did you actually, got removed from Canada, or were you expelled from Canada, or why are you staying that long in the Philippines? It is because I could afford to, and it's because my business allows me to. Because you can take the business anywhere you go, right? So 13 months of being with my family is just something that I will take with me forever. I've never been able to spend Christmas and holidays with my family for a decade, and this is the only time that I got to spend it with them. Apart from that, I managed to build the house of my parents because of this, and all because of this business. And the day that I will never forget was when we had our housewarming. I'm not sure if you heard that story, but that was back in March 14. So I stepped out of my room because I was so excited. I was trying to prepare for the house blessing for that day, right? So I slept early, and then I woke up the next day at 5 a.m. because I couldn't sleep anymore. And as soon as I stepped out of my room, I saw my mom. She was dressed so nicely, and my dad too. And they came to me. These two people came to me, and they just hugged me. And never in a long time I felt that genuine thank you from my parents. Like they hug me whenever I come home, but to feel that genuine thank you from them that day, when they hugged me and whispered in my ear, "Thank you for changing our lives," because they thought that they're going to depart from this world without experiencing that comfort in life, because they've been sleeping on the floor. And I take that with me every time, every
Oh,
day. and and that's a reminder of how amazing the business is. And in fact, um, my dad's birthday was in is August 1st, and last year, he's been wanting to get a piece of land where he can plant, and where he can relax and spend the rest of his retirement together with my mom. And he really wanted that land, which was located right next to our house. But the bad thing is that it was already owned by somebody. But I prayed for it, and voila, after a week of praying for it and talking to the owner, they actually sold it to us. And my dad didn't know that it was actually sold to us already. So um, August 1st of last year, his birthday, I gave him the title. He actually pulled it out from the cake, you know.
oh wow.
And as soon as he saw it, he just bursted into tears. And right now, it's all built. We have a swimming pool right next to our house as well, all because of this business.
That's amazing. That's amazing. The stuff that you have done thanks to this business is
Mm,
incredible. And the part I love more is that you're generous and that you give back to your family and you help your parents and you've never forgotten about your roots, right?
right.
Because you could be traveling the world, but you decided to go home. And
Mm,
that's amazing, Franco. That's a
thank you
life
very much.
experience that you're not going to forget. Your parents aren't going to forget, and all your families. So that's such a blessing. That's awesome.
Mm.
Do you have
And
any words of advice, Franco, for people that
yeah,
are watching
absolutely.
us?
And I forgot to mention as well, the business that I managed to get blessed, from this business, I actually managed to extend it to the people that I don't even know. Back in October of last year, I know everyone was forced to stay at home because of the pandemic, right? And students were forced to study online. I actually donated 20 tablets to the students back here, in the Philippines, and I gave hope to them. And it's just an amazing thing to see that every now and then they will send you a message saying, "Hey Franco, these are my grades from the school. I'm doing really well. Thank you for giving me hope." Those kind of that hope that you manage to give to other people because of this business is such a huge blessing as well. And words of encouragement for people who get to watch this later on. I think we owe that to ourselves, to actually learn something new. And pandemic, this is the perfect time for us to learn something. If we could binge watch on Netflix with our favorite show, our favorite movies, you wouldn't lose anything at all if you're going to trade 90 minutes of your time to our complimentary webinar. And I think we owe that to ourselves. For those people who have inquired to Veronica about what she's doing, I think we need to put an end to that question of what ifs and what could have been. Like what's waiting for me at the end of this journey. And I think you need to give that to yourself to know what's waiting for you. And if it's not for you, if it's not for you, we're not going to hunt you or chase you. But if it's for you, if you feel it's for you, then I'm sure Veronica will welcome you with open arms, with her capable hands, because she's very knowledgeable about our business, and she's my go-to person in terms of some parts of the business as well, and she knows that. And I even don't know her,
No, we
and
don't know
we
each other.
haven't, yeah, we haven't met in person, but she felt like she's a friend already. She's a friend and she's a family. That's how I feel about her. So do yourself a favor, watch the complimentary webinar, and see whether this is the right fit for you. Because if it changed my life, if it has changed the life of Veronica and so many people within our community, I wouldn't doubt that it wouldn't work for you. So
Yeah, and if we could do it, anybody else can do it, right?
that's right.
Um, COVID has changed so many people's lives. It's like flipped
Yeah.
people upside down. People have lost their jobs, have stayed home. What has COVID affected you in your business, or has it?
To be honest with you, I never felt that it has affected my business at all. Probably, I've seen how people, it's not even a bad thing. I actually have seen how people moved from the traditional businesses to online. And that's something that we have already realized prior to COVID because of this amazing business that got presented to us. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. And in fact, I think in our community there were more people who actually joined our business during pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the realization most of them are forced to work from home, and I think they're liking that time back with their family. They got into that kind of realization that I can still run, I can actually work from home and be with my family. And it's the same concept that we have, but the only difference that we have here is that we don't follow any schedules, we don't have any bosses,
Yeah.
and we don't wake up to any alarm clocks.
Well, you guys heard it from the guy that's fired 3 bosses, has transformed his family, made his family's dream come true, built an amazing house with a pool, and done so many awesome things for him, for his family, and for his community. So thank you guys. Thank you, Franco, for sharing your
Thank
story.
you, Veronica. It's my
Thank you.
pleasure.
And see you guys on the other side. Take care. Bye.